All right, thanks for staying with us. We recently saw a post where a 32-year-old Unilag first-class graduate recounts how he got a top job in the UK after being rejected for a graduate role in Nigeria over his age. Now, it is widely recognized that older people have greater difficulty in finding employment, and there have been many suggestions that older staff are more likely to lose their jobs in economically difficult times. Now, do you think age should be matter, or it should matter rather, during employment, for especially for graduate roles? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. So this conversation is quite interesting because when I saw that post, it was really heartbreaking for me. Given that we saw a comment by the president saying that he wants to stop the Europe from stopping people from traveling, migrating. So this is a young boy. He graduated with the first class in University of Lagos, and upon graduation, he graduated at 28. Upon graduation, he was unable to secure a job, and the reason that was given was that he didn't have what's it called? I mean, his age requirement. His age was too old for that graduate role. So I'm then wondering, why are companies not a bit sensitive to the peculiarity of Nigeria, right? Because we already know what the current situation of Nigeria is with ASU. You know, in fact, that's why I actually found this video. If they can just quickly, play this video for me, because I think it's very instructive to the conversation that we're going to have.
Hearing it right now, so I'm happy. It's good news.
Why are you happy?
Because I have things to do. I'm doing photography and I'm trying to relax because school is just taking up all my time, and obviously nobody's serious with school in this country, including the government themselves. So you just have to find something going on for yourself, something that works for you, and school is not it. I'm just hearing it right now, so I'm happy. It's good news.
Why are you happy?
Because I have things to do. I'm doing photography and I'm trying to relax.
So you needed to hear that thing twice, because for me, how can you say that nobody cares about education in this school? That's to tell you the extent to which. Now, see two things she mentioned that is taking up so much of her time. You're supposed to enter school. Right. It depends on your course, either 4 years or 5 years. You are done with school. Some people spend, what is 7? What is 8? Some people spend 8 years, some people 12 years, just because there are constant strikes in between schools. How many parents can afford a private university? That you understand? Because that is where everybody's going now. People are going into private university. So when we talk about age for graduate roles, shouldn't our companies in Nigeria be a lot more sensitive? Yes. Because look at this girl now. She's going into She's going into photography. She's doing other things because she's feeling like this thing is just a waste of my time. Because even the people that are supposed to pay attention to the fact that we are not supposed to stay this long in this course, they are not paying attention. But let me hear your thoughts, because I'm lost.
So for me, I'm thinking, let's even back it up a bit. You're done with secondary school. To gain admission into university is a problem, because you have to do JAMB before you get your cutoff mark. Another problem. Before you now the school you selected to go into, before you get into that school, another drama. Then for the people that have the money to say, okay, you know what, federal schools or state schools are wasting time, let me go take my child to a private university. Amazing for those ones are lucky. But if you don't belong to that category, it means that you have to keep trying, and God knows how long you have to keep trying to get into university. Then you get into the university, you take longer to finish, to graduate. There are strikes in between. There's so many issues that will happen in between. So you've spent probably 3 years before you got into university. Within the university, you spend another extra 2 or 3 years. Then by the time you're graduating, 1 year NYSC, then now it's time to work, and you're already 30 or you're already 28. And then most entry-level jobs now, they will tell you that it's for younger, 23, 22.
Yes.
So what happens to me that I've been going through this drama almost over 10 years of my life? So it means that, like the guy's story now, they rejected him. And he's a smart person, because imagine he's getting a
job in Bloomberg in the UK.
Imagine that.
At 32.
And there's so many people suffering from this right now, and it needs to stop. Because I mean, you're not going to encourage. Just listen to the young woman saying that she's done. Like, you're wasting my time. I have to do something that is going to be more beneficial to me, because even when she's done with school, there's no guarantee she's going to get a job. So now she's learning photography because that's when she's setting that, okay, this one would at least sort me out by myself. So she has to fix herself.
So you now wonder why people are rather choosing the option of fraud.
Right.
Now, there was a video I saw today. I don't know if I shared that video with you guys, where a boy was videoing the fleet of cars for all his fellow classmates. The students, they were all Lexus SUVs and all of that, Mercedes SUVs. Then he now moved the camera to where the lecturers park. The lecturers were driving jalopy, they were driving. So he was telling the you better follow way, that you know that school is not the way. So I mean, this thing is actually multifaceted, right? But let me hear Norma's thought, then I'll come back.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, that we're having this conversation because a lot of young people, the crop of young people that we even have now are not even interested in the jobs that are available.
Yes, true.
That's another thing. Because some of them, it's either they do not qualify, based on the quality of education that we have now, the level of skill set that they have as well, don't even help them to qualify. But the other angle to it is that, coming from where Alera was talking about the several challenges that we have to face, educational challenges, then you come out and then there are no options for even jobs, or that your age has exceeded the limit for companies. Most companies are looking for sales or hunters roles where you can have the energy to move around. They're still fresh and you can. But they feel that when you're older, you will not be able, first of all, commitments might be a problem, because they would have some people who most of them want you to sign contracts of up to 5 years and your input.
No child.
Then you're talking about you have children, all those distractions, which they may not say to your face, but in all ramifications are distractions to you being able to concentrate on the job, on the work. So all of those distractions, they do not want it. So they want fresh, they want it young, they want people who they can literally draw blood from, right? Hunters roles, sales and all of that. You may not have the energy to be jumping up and down and all of that, but I don't think that should be enough criteria, because when some of the older people probably have more experience, I didn't know until, recently, probably in the last 10 years, when you see someone from outside the country and they tell you they have up to 20 years experience, and you're asking this young person, how old are you? How did you get this much experience with what you're doing? It's because they learned early to document some of the things they've done. Some of them started with either internships here and there, so they have a wealth of experience. But we have people who just go to school, it's a theory that they know, and then they're done with theory.
Holiday jobs.
There is no holiday. It's all about people are becoming wiser now. Right. Even the IT situation is not really as solid and effective as possible. So really, it's a major problem that we have to deal with, and it will take a reorientation of minds of both company owners and even people who are coming out of school. I love the fact that that young girl said that she was learning photography because there's something to fall back on if I don't get a job. So when people start thinking entrepreneurship, where you're no longer depending on 9 to 5, until when you have a 9 to 5, that's when you can take care of your needs. You have begun to equip yourself with skills that make you relevant, because sometimes you don't even know where those skills come into play. Even though someone is asking for a so and so role, and you come here and say maybe you even need a role, a team leader, or you're suggesting solutions to the company, and they're like, oh, we didn't think about it in this way. Thank you. Maybe you might even fall into that category. We may not have an opening for you here, but we can open up something for you in another area. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win, and we need to start thinking in that direction.
So for me, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying that in the UK, for instance, people do not write place of origin. when you are filling your form, and you don't write date of birth.
Yeah.
Right.
And even sex.
Thank you. Employment is based also
On your
what he was
abilities.
saying that was that the best way to tackle something like this is our labor law. Because we know say this our labor people not to go strike a luta continua, they enter government office, after they clean out, they come out and say the strike has been called
extended.
off. But if we have proper labor laws, right, you shouldn't demand, you know, for the person's age to know whether the person will be able to do the job. So I get that part where Norma was talking about agility and all of that for the kinds of role, and they need, literally, they truly need people that they can draw blood from. They need people that it seems like you are actually going to be available, undivided attention, you'll be focused on the work based on the fact that it's believed that at that age you should be single, you should not have any attachment. I mean, for instance, if you're applying for a job for an airline company, they will tell you to sign a number of years where you're not going to be having children, because they do not also want all those,
married.
You're not getting married, you're not having children and all of that. So these are the realities. But we can fight this thing from labor laws, because ASU is a big elephant in the room. Not ASU, let me rephrase. The unresolved back and forth between ASU and the federal government is a big elephant in the room. And like I mentioned earlier, so you see that the strike is not limited to Nigeria. For the UK universities to be striking to, you will know that, okay, whatever ASU is talking about, they have very valid reasons to go on those strikes. But guess what? Who is the person at the end of the day suffering? It is that graduate. So I remember when I entered university, I went to Delta State University. And I remember that it was the period that they had just done a lot of resensitization to stop cultism, because they had gotten to the peak of cultism, so they were bringing down all the cultist activity and all of that. So then it was Governor James Ibori that was the governor of Lagos State then, Delta State then. So he ensured, as the state government, he ensured that there was no single strike, no cult activities. He was always, for you to run a university, it takes a lot of money to run a university that it goes 4 years is 4 years. So I was very, very fortunate that my 4 years was 4 years. I entered at almost 17.
Some of us were not.
I entered at almost 17. I graduated at 21.
Wow.
So it was a smooth 4 years for me. Wow. So you talked earlier about how JAMB and all of that. There is also the angle, that's why I said it's so multifaceted. There's the angle where you eventually probably get like a cutoff of 120, and because you cannot, it's not meeting up to the course choice, you have to now change a course, you know, to be able to just say, let me just go to school. So a lot of us go into school because we just want to go to school. Even for the people that graduate,
actually wanted to
even for the people that graduate at the set age that they're supposed to graduate, how many of them are employable in terms of, okay, this is actually a square peg in a square hole kind of employment? A lot of people leave, study zoology to go and work in the bank. People study the biochemistry to go and work in the bank. Do you understand? So this is the kind of thing that we see. So I get the part where employers actually feel a bit overwhelmed with what they are left with. Like, okay, these are the kind of graduates that we have in Nigeria. But I am thinking, should we not find creative ways? We take out this age factor, because this young boy now, graduating with a first class, it didn't even matter anymore because his age had gone above the graduate role. I think that was a very, very unfair, and we have just lost another great mind to the foreign country. You know, so when the government is saying that they don't want people to travel abroad, you are not making the laws that makes people to stay in your country.
Exactly. What are you doing to keep them?
It still goes back to, you know, what you said, policies and government, because we can't not go there when we say government needs to sit up. It's not enough for you to say, we need to stop people from going out of the country. Is the environment enabling enough? Look at this young man. Imagine that he was here and he had the opportunity. I'm sure really he would have wanted to be back here. But because of the situation that he's faced with, there's no guarantee for even his future or the future of his family. He's not going to sit back and say, because I love Nigeria, I want to stay in Nigeria then. he's gotten a place where they value the human resource that you are. When will Nigeria get to that point where we begin to value the human resource that we have, begin to create the kind of environment, even the schools, education, we're talking about education here, and unemployment.
How many certificates
the schools that we have,
most people just read to pass.
the schools that we have, what is the quality of the education that they're even getting? That's part of the reason why some of them are unemployable. Because even reading and writing, education is supposed to be that at least you can, even if it's a subject, let me go there, even if it's a course that's zoology, let's go back there. Even if you read zoology, you have an understanding
of what it is.
There are basic principles. It's not just zoology you're going to read. You're going to read English.
But you don't have any business studying zoology. I'm going to work in the bank.
No, but see, I mean, there are people that are doing there are people that are doing different things. They started off as something and then their lives turned around for it. But at the end of the day, the problem is the education, the level of education. Does it allow this person to apply the learnings to everyday experience? Yes. Whether it's at work, with engaging with clients, with people. You have graduates that cannot even read or write a letter, formal letter. You were the one talking about someone who was or was it Elsie that was talking about someone who wrote a letter and was using emojis and using what do they all those short languages? Yes, BRB, be right. What is that?
Okay. On that note, we want to hear from you. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so if you just tuned in, is our Ladies Night Out, and our focus today is employment. We're asking, should age matter for graduate roles? Now, please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WeShow. Now, our phone line is now open. You know the rules. Turn off the volume of your television set when you do call us. The number to call is 070-2500-7749. That's the number to call. Okay, ladies. I like where the conversation is going. So maybe, go ahead, Elara.
I was going to say that a couple of companies in Nigeria are actually trying to,
balance it out.
Yes, because I know that, I don't want to mention the name of the company, but they don't ask for, they'll tell you to take off your sex from your CV. They don't even want to know what you studied in school. If they are employing for a specific role, they want to know if you have the skills for those roles. And that basically has even helped a lot of young people to start upskilling, in the sense that I studied mass communication, but now in my job in the office, I have to build products. So which means I have to become a product manager. So that means I have to start learning product management to become better at this. So a lot of companies are actually pushing individuals to unlearn those things. Yes, we know that you studied mass communication, you would probably want to work in a radio or a TV station. However, we are realistic enough to see that what you have on your table at the moment is accounting or financing or or whatever it is. So what you need to do is upskill. Because the truth is, yes, we want the government to do better in increasing and improving our educational system. However, individuals like the lady, she's studying photography, she's upskilling, even though she's still in school. So some companies are doing it, but I think we should normalize it so that more industries and more organizations will actually employ people based on what they know. So you studied financing, but probably this is a tech company. If you have the skills, build on it, just improve better. So I know that with time it will happen, but I would really hope it happens quicker, because I wouldn't want us to lose more, smart individuals to another country, and then they are going to better the other country's economy. Meanwhile, ours
so there's some brain drain. It's draining. I was going to say that, for him, as a first class graduate, I know that most universities, when you graduate with a first class, the school immediately offers you employment to be a lecturer in the school. So you can probably start from lecturer assistant and all of that, and now grow up the ranks and all of that. So that alone is is an employment opportunity. I am just guessing in my head this boy must have been offered that lecturer role. But why would you think he would turn it down? Goes back to the issues around pay for underpayment and all of that. Because again, he has looked at it that I am brilliant. I cannot suffer and be earning peanuts when I can afford to push myself and get a better job to be able to get something bigger. Do you understand? So you cannot neglect that fact, because ideally, as a first-class graduate, immediately the school themselves will offer you immediate admission. It's an unwritten rule, right? So why would he have turned down that job? Because again, the pay grade is poorly done. Many years ago, people looked forward to lecturing. They looked forward to working. They looked forward to working as lecturers. They were turning down oil and gas jobs to lecture. But now it is lopsided again, because the attention, like that girl rightly put it, that nobody cares about education anymore. Do you understand? And it has spiraled into, do you understand, every other thing. Now we are seeing that this is what is happening. So that's why a government can afford to look away when people are in school for 8 years that are supposed to be in school for 4 years. They can afford to drink water and drop cup. They can afford to just sit down and chill, because it is not their business. Most of their children have been flown abroad, right? And they are schooling abroad. They have collected money abroad, and they're spending the exact number of years. In fact, plus that your year, they will add PhD and masters before they even come back to work. But the children of the Nigerians would be in school for 8 years and they'll be comfortable with it. That is why we'll face something like this. And then when he wants to travel abroad, so we understand. Yes, so we understand this part. We are only appealing to employers now, because the government can't really do so much for us. We are only appealing to our employers. Let's probe more. Let's ask questions. Why did you spend 10 years in school when you're supposed to spend 4 years in school? And let's see. We take out that age, what's it called? The age limitation. Because you cannot say my brain is dead. In fact, with age, your brain is actually supposed to get better and more mature, right? So can we also speak to employers? Because now, if we want to focus on government, we will not find the headway. If employers can be a bit considerate with the terms and conditions for their employment, so that we do not lose more hands to the international job market.
Interestingly, when you were just talking, I just remembered the movie that I watched some time ago. It's called The Intern. And you had Robert De Niro, who was in his 60s going to apply for a job, because his wife was dead, his children were grown, he didn't have anything he was doing, and he didn't just want to stay idle. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go back to the workforce. And he applied for a job in the newspaper ad, only for him to go to the office. It was a tech company. They had come up with this really inventive wave that was going viral, and they were making money. It was like Facebook, that kind of thing. And then he's applying, and he's the oldest person. Coincidentally, it's the same place that he had worked 30-something years ago, but they had, bought the property and turned it into their space. And these are young, fresh. It was like working in Microsoft. Everybody was young, playing games, riding bicycles and doing their job. And he felt so out of place. But he said, okay, fine. I wanted to, so he was supposed to be the assistant to the CEO. And she was in her 30s or early 30s or late 20s, something like that. A young mother. But it was interesting how the two of them rubbed off on one another. He learned fresh ideas from the young people that he was working around. He had opened Facebook for the first time, opened an account and all of that. But they didn't take away the experience that he had. Eventually, his experience came to being, because there were some things that the young lady was dealing with. She couldn't tackle with. Management, experience came in, leadership came in, so many other skills and qualities that he had that nobody in the room possessed. So at the end of the day, you find out that yes, while people are older and they may not qualify for the age brackets that you want because of certain skills or criteria that you're looking out to get, there are also opportunities that lie when you see people who have experience, or you ask questions. When you become curious, you ask questions, you find out that there's some things that these people can have. And it also goes both ways. You also build yourself to the point where people see the value in you, and even when they were not looking for you in the first place, they will end up looking for you because now you present yourself as that.
Let me shut us some table. Politics. Because we say make the employee should age matter. It's still part of employment. We're employing them to go and become president and governor and whatever. Why are you looking at me funny? No, what is good? Uti always says this thing. What is good for the geese is good for the
gander.
Yes. Now the same thing with the talk.
Right.
We are speaking.
It's the
speaking one language. You know, because we keep saying that, because maybe if we look at it from a broader perspective, when we complain about certain leaders being too old for a particular position and all of that, is it possible that probably these are the things that also we are also looking at, that the employers are looking at, saying, no, this person can't fit into this role, because it applies. Whatever it is, we're employing them to go and serve us, right? So yeah, voting for them, we're employing them to go and serve us. You know, so should we say that going forward, when it comes to issues of employment and all of that, let's focus on competence.
Yes.
And just take out anything age and all of that, those discriminations around age, sex, or ethnicity and all of that. Is that possible? Is it a doable thing?
It's very possible, because I believe that right now the talent acquisition teams all over the world is actually making sure that they are employing people with skills. So let me state an insight now. Someone who studied finance in the university, working in a bank, and it's expected that you're supposed to, give all your best when it comes to that. And then the person is not really doing so well, which in a conventional style, the person will get fired because you're not doing your job well. Only for the person to be fortunate enough to be in a strategy session with marketing and brand teams regarding the finance project. And he did amazingly well. The ideas he could give. And then his boss was like, oh, so you know this kind of thing. And meanwhile, he was about to be fired for not knowing how to do accounting. So I feel like some people have certain talents and skills that maybe they don't even know. And that's the reason why when you are employing, there are some companies that actually do some type of assessment to just see where is your head,
so we can fit
what are you
right.
competent to do.
Let me take a call quickly. I'll come back to you. Hi, thank you for calling. Youngest old man, I believe.
Good evening, how are you?
We're good. Nadia, how are you?
Yeah, I think your topic today, I'm not too clear about it. Is it that we're talking of age in terms of employment or age in terms of graduation?
Employment, so graduate roles. Most companies, when you graduate, there is something they call graduate position, like fresh graduates that they bring. So it's based on employment. We're asking, should age matter when you want to employ a fresh graduate? Oh, did we lose him? Oh, so try to call back. So he didn't get the question. Maybe we should recoin the topic. The conversation is, when you want to employ a fresh graduate, right? Most companies demand or insist that you have to be between 22 to like 23 max, 24 max, right? But we are saying that given the uniqueness of Nigeria, where there is ASU strike, there is just put all the things that would impede that 4-year or 5-year graduation period for a young person. So you see a person that is that gets into university, let's even put the proper age at 18. Technically, you're supposed to be a graduate by 24, right? Or 22 rather. 18 plus 4 years is 22, 23, depending on the course you're studying. But you see that person ending up to graduate or ends up graduating at 28, 27 because of this problem that we have, the elephant in the room, ASU and federal government strikes and all of that. So we are asking, so shouldn't employers now start to consider the fact that these kinds of situations are there, they are unique? Because based on the story, the picture of the boy we showed you earlier, that boy graduated at 28, he couldn't get a job in Nigeria. He had to leave Nigeria to go and work. Now he's an employer for Bloomberg in the United Kingdom. He graduated with a first class. So we are asking, shouldn't we take out this age factor when it comes to employment for graduate roles? So I hope the question is clearer now. But we have a comment, Norma.
Yes, we do have a comment. This is from BC. BC says, good evening, ladies. A very good topic. Should age matter for graduate roles? Here in Nigeria, it's mostly used to filter a lot of educated citizens that cannot apply what they've learned in school. We just read to pass. The cause of this is mainly due to bad policies of government towards education. Check percentage of the budget allocated to education. There's misplaced priorities. Most times, due to incessant strikes, graduates stay more than twice the course years till we get leadership right and there is total overhaul in the education system. I'm afraid most people will be unemployable. That's from BC. So it still goes back to it still goes back to what we've been trying to say. If we do not create an enabling environment for the Nigerian citizen, the people that value what they have will
help
us to employ them. If we also do not reorient our graduates to begin to add on other skills apart from education that they get from school. Some universities, private universities, are already doing that. Some of them teach personal development, some teach leadership, some teach management skills and all of those things, just to aid. I mean, there are 0 credit unit courses, but you must pass them. They may not necessarily reflect, but you have to pass them to be able to graduate. So things like that. These are people that are thinking of.
So let's not even confuse it. The thing is, it's not the fact that this boy does not have all of those things. The only issue he had with based on his story
was his age.
Was that his age, his age was too old for that graduate role. It's not like he was not intelligent, he didn't have all of those things. He had a first class. But let me take it. I think the youngest old man is back. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I think I understood more on what you guys are on today for. And it's a nice topic, and you guys are trying to get it on with the reality of today. But the main issue there is that things are, how do I put the word, evolving. You understand? I really want to see our graduates coming out as an individual that can stand on his own, whether being employed or not employed. Because the schools, the tertiary institution are not, there's no promise. You can't even get it on. Look at, after it's on strike now, everything is failing. There's no enabling environment. So as an individual, you need to kind of build yourself as a one-man company. So that even if you come out and you are not employable, you'll be employed, self-employed in that matter. Because for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I run business. I employ people. Seriously, I can't lie to you. Age matters. There's something that a 25 to 30 years old can do that a 35 to 40 years old can do. The brain setting is even different. The emotional carriage is different. So we might say it easy, but when it comes to employment, age matters. Seriously. You understand? So, but the real truth is that as a Nigerian, you just got to take the bull by the horn. Or how do you say the word? I don't even know the English word for that. But I understand that you just got to be stronger and come out without even having any hope that anybody will employ you.
Thank you. I like you are saying let's prepare. I like what you're saying, youngest old man. Let us prepare, you understand, regardless whether the work comes or not. You see, I've heard this argument several times, and I keep on saying that it's not everybody that has the entrepreneurial drive. Yes, true. Some people are just great employees. Yep. They are great. They will do your job excellently well. Not everybody is built to become an entrepreneur. True. For the boy to graduate with a first, you will know first of all, this one is an EFICO. He just wants you to give him a task and he will deal with the task. So I get your argument 100%. And that's why that young girl is doing the photography on the side, because she believes that as she graduate, might just get quali.
Have something.
Even if the job doesn't come, I would focus on my photography. I get that part. But you see, not many of us can be driven,
True.
can be self-driven like that. So we still need to create a what's it called? A buffer or whatever it is, a cushion for the people that do not have any iota of entrepreneurial what's it called, skills in them to be able to stand on their own and do. Some people just want you to employ me, give me work, I'll do your work, pay me my money. That's all. Not everybody wants to go and become a what's it called, self-employed.
Very true.
But let me take another comment.
So we have a comment from Raphael Wonole from Zaria. He says that the most sad thing going on in Nigeria, especially in the banking industry, is very worrisome, whereby young graduates are being employed on contract basis. After about 10 years in the bank, and they are rendered jobless by their employers, and most of them must have reached the age of 33 years old, and getting fresh employment become a mission impossible. Nobody is talking about the unfortunate situation, but years back, people can start working in banks as T-boys and end up becoming bank managers. Nigeria today is just about certificate, not capability.
And that's actually a very strong point, because I remember I have a friend of mine that works with a top oil and gas company, a very top one. I remember he went, I think he told me that he only did his OND. He got the job. That was how he went through HND. That's all he had. But he did different, what's it called? Today, he's a big boy. He's a boss. Do you understand? In the company. We don't have such kinds of stories anymore.
Nigeria is not
so
the
that's
same
why,
anymore.
again, a lot of people just go in. You know what? I'm not reading. Just give me pali and let me go. You understand? We've not even touched that one. Because people are interested in 2-1 now. Everybody's graduating with 2-1. People are interested in first class now. Everybody's graduating with first class.
Say that back
the credibility
in the
of the certificate self, we can't even verify now. Yeah. So it's a big issue.
It's really annoying, because I remember back in the day, everybody wanted to graduate with first class because companies were rushing students with first class. And then the next thing you know, oh, he graduated first class, let's employ him. But now it's different, and we don't even know why it's different. And that's the reason why
the companies have found out that those first class certificates are false.
Yeah, that's why I said that the problem, our education system needs to
be overhauled. So we will do a part 2 of this conversation on Thursday on our ladies' night out. That one is your president, what he said, that we want to continue. Thank you, ladies. I think, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Norma. So before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagrams at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our conversations online. Thank you to everyone that called and sent in their messages. Right, it's always important when you call us. It tells us, okay, that yes, we're communicating. All right. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Keep in mind, graduation can take place at any age, and it can certainly happen more than once in your lifetime, right? So let's not discriminate against people that are older. Be cool. We'll see you guys live at 8 p.m. tomorrow as I bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.